All right, so this is the Lydia and Spin with Lydia Lunch, Tim Dahl, and my good friend Phil of Monster Magnet tonight.
Hello.
There is a double bill back to back, and we were going to go on and open them wide for Chunky when Monster Magnet comes out.
Yes, right.
Yes.
Where are we at here, anyway?
Victoria.
Spain.
Yeah, Spain in the Basque region.
It's wonderful.
We're in the back.
How long?
stage
When did your tour start,
thing.
Phil?
We've been out here about a week and a half now.
And
so-
Spain mainly, or Italy?
No, we were in Scandinavia. We were in Estonia, in Finland, in Sweden already.
Where Road Dog is.
One in Holland.
Okay.
All right.
And then
So just
Germany.
Scatter
here.
shooting.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So where do you go after this?
We go to Hellfest in France, and then we go back down to Holland. Then we're in Germany for
And how long is this tour?
till July 9th.
All festivals? All festivals?
No, like the stretch in Germany is all headlining.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering when I can have you again open wide for Chunky, and we'd love to open for you sometime
Let's
beside
do
the
it.
night.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm just putting the
it's been
bid
a long
in.
time, and
Hey,
we
honey.
finally made it.
I know it's ridiculous. By the way, I love the recording that you sent me. The first
thank
single
you.
off it. It's really good. It's very tread rocky, sexy, hard rock.
It's hard rock.
It's hard rock, honey. It's what you do.
It's what I do.
And you know what? Do you find that there's not really that much hard rock at this moment? I mean, there's metal. But
You're
what
right.
is there,
I think
right?
you're right.
I mean,
There's
like
not a
good
lot.
Well,
hard
there
rock.
aren't people that are young doing real hard rock so much. There's kind of like, I don't know, backing tracks,
Yeah.
Disney version of that
But-
going on.
But I
like-
mean, there's still punk, there's still metal, but as far as just
Well.
good fucking rock,
Lydia's in tune with it, man.
I'm
You're-
telling you, I'm out there, my ears are to the
there-
ground, and my
the
head's getting
underground-
stomped on.
The underground has some, but yeah, I don't know. We don't have to talk about that. We can just talk about what's happening here, which is we just came back from Italy. Awesome. I mean, every night was fucking awesome. So I'm psyched to be here with both of you guys.
We're
and-
road dogging. It's a lot of fun. It's a very diverse festival. And yeah, as we said on the podcast with Phil that was on a couple of weeks ago, we go back into the basement of CBGB's.
Yeah,
I don't know if we ever made it to the basement of CBGB's together, but we go back that far. And
yeah.
you know what? We're still fucking rocking.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see Monster.
And any fun little stories from the tour besides the music? Any situations that were just like, what the fuck, or whoa, that?
Give me a light, sweet pea.
Not yet, because
Make sure
we've
you're
been
getting
traveling so much. We've been
Yeah,
traveling.
you're just going.
Well, the boat from Finland to Sweden is always insane.
Oh yeah, we've done that. Well, because those the Scandos, once they're out in the tax-free zone, they just start fucking going to Lickerton,
Yeah.
and I just because I like to party, but those trips I'll just go to my room and you just hear the Viking roars like, "Rah!" one of my friends, because the girls can be pretty sexualized at a young age in Finland. It's very liberal though. It's like it's actually not like, hey, they're being taken advantage of. They would be the predators. One of my friends, she grew up in Finland, and when she was 13, 14, she would get on those overnight buses and prey on drunken Finnish and
all
Swedish.
right. By the way, I got to ask you this.
She did.
We know that. Where are the hottest chicks? Besides,
Next to you?
Besides, they used to be in your van, I guess.
Whoa.
I say New Jersey.
You know what? Wait a minute. All right, wait a minute.
Gotta get
What
out
do
of
I
here.
say about?
Well.
Hang on. What?
Lydia's got a pretty wide.
God
No,
bless
No,
her.
no.
she's got a wide, but she likes Jersey boys and Boston boys.
Boston, yeah.
Well, Jersey takes the cake. And I was just telling a little story a few minutes ago to Kevin Shea, the drummer. I'm like, once I was in Jersey, I must have been doing a gig. I haven't done that many in Jersey. And some little young Jersey boy comes up to me looking, just like maybe Phil did when he was that age. And he goes, I want to thank you. I'm like, for what? He said, popping my cherry. 10 minutes later, another one looks exactly the same, comes up and goes, I want to thank you. I'm like, for what? Popping my cherry. I'm like, it was my duty, right?
Well,
As a cherry popper.
Well, and my buddy I was texting with last night, Tom, he does Black Leather Jesus and all these other
Okay.
bands. He's a Jersey guy.
Did I pop a cherry?
I think so.
Holy moly!
Well, if
I
it's
think
not-
we're gonna have to have a podcast with
Inside
all the Jersey
information.
Poppers.
But
Jersey poppers. No, I mean,
are you specialized with Jersey? You side with like the Philly side, the New York side, the northern part, the shore? Which?
You know what it is? It's Jersey has a thing. Upstate New York has a thing.
Right.
House of Guitars has a thing.
Detroit, like we have, like America. It's like
What place in America doesn't have a thing? Let's be mean here.
New York City right now.
Whoa!
Brooklyn, closer to Jersey, but how about
Manhattan. Not saying
Oh,
New York City,
Manhattan, Manhattan.
We'll say Manhattan.
Do you think Indianapolis has a thing?
who knows?
New
Right?
York
Did you?
had its thing.
Oh, big
But
time.
you know what? Look, this is how I view it. It's like, creativity is like a virus that circles. And if you want to go back to like the 20s Paris, the 30s Weimar Berlin, the 40s like maybe the Hollywood having the bad time, 50s Memphis.
Right.
60s Haight-Ashbury, 70s New York, LA, London,
Right.
and then it died.
Right.
But because of the internet, people didn't have to travel like moths to where that flame
Right.
was. But creativity is like a virus that would do that.
Well,
then.
you and I spoke about this so many times. New York in those days, it's like you could get an apartment for $200.
My first was 75.
Yeah, $150.
Yeah, that was my second.
And you could just create
Do.
and do your thing.
But also, rebellion was conspicuous.
It was a time and a place,
Yeah.
right? And hopefully for younger people, that they will have their time and place.
Yeah, well, I think we
it's not sitting
said.
in
Well,
your
John
bedroom.
Waters was saying that we got a rowdy band here back here.
I'm trying to do it.
We're in the backstage here. They're excited.
Well, then, don't forget the Baltimore stuff.
Well,
with
yes.
all that.
Excuse me, let me talk about Baltimore for a minute. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, but we did some work with Umar Ben Hassan, Last Poets. No wave, out poets, out jazz. Last Poets, out jazz. He lives in Baltimore.
Right.
Umar, this is madness. That was the song. Go say
There's not much we're gonna do. We're gonna have to wind.
Go say we're doing it.
I don't know what band that is.
I don't care.
Is that
Just say
Guar? Could be Guar. I don't know.
Some tough shit. They can
No,
suck my
they're
fucking
here.
heart.
They're here tomorrow.
Oh, but there are things right there. Okay.
Guar here's tomorrow.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. You're back the 7th. I leave the 23rd of July. We have to get together.
Yes,
Right
we'll
here.
get- we'll get
What
together.
color's your car? Is it the orange one?
Orange, toxic
I
orange.
remember it, baby.
When do you play Berlin on this trip, or do you play Berlin?
We play Berlin on the Huxley's
Jeez, I'm surprised you could see that. Huh?
June 30th.
Oh, I've left by. I would miss that. But so because we have to get ready for our sound check, let's kind of. There's a pleasure that to have you back here. Actually, usually the intro is just current events, but today was kind of like a mini interview gathering, which is a pleasant surprise.
I love you like no other, Phil. You know it, baby. I know.
What is Tom's other projects? He said he met you.
You know what? Just send me an email and let
I'll
me
send
know.
you-
And but ask him, did she pop your cherry? Are you
I
one
will,
of the
I will.
chosen few?
And he said he did a collab with one of you retrovirus guys. I don't know.
Tom Black Jesus is one of his bands.
Maybe with Kevin.
Kevin Shane. Kevin?
Maybe with an ex-member.
Drummers, killers. Well, they're all killers.
Lydia, do you want to take it out?
Come on
Oh.
in. Kevin Shea, come in.
What is going on back here? Yeah. Wrong.
Sound check.
We'll do.
Do you want to walk over and hear a song for the sound check? Then?
I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait.
See the whole set. Okay, good. This is the Lydian Spin. Lydia Lunch. Phil Monster Magnet is going to rock, and Tim Dahl and Retrovirus is going to kick it off and open them wide for the chunk that is Monster Magnet. Coming at you from Vitoria, Spain. Hot festival. That's it. This is the Lydian Spin with Lydia Lunch, Tim Dahl, and Kawabata Makoto of, is it Makoto?
Yeah, Makoto.
Makoto of Acid Mother's Temple, who is a master improv musician of the most otherworldly dimensions. Glad to have you on the show, my friend.
Yeah.
So you're on tour right now,
Yes.
and I saw you in Queens. I saw you in New York City.
Yeah.
I don't know, a week ago. I just want to say, spectacular guitar playing. Really, 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 really great. And I'm
Really, thank you.
I truly, and it was just a pleasure to hear you explore these dimensions. And Nani on drums is great, and the whole thing's great. So, how many tours or how many shows on the tour?
This time, we have 35 shows in 35 days.
Classic.
Tonight was canceled, so 34 shows now.
Yes, and unfortunately you had some van troubles, which
Yeah.
every professional band who's toured, this happens sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's a frustrating, but it happens sometimes. So I'm sorry about that experience.
Well, and I wait, you're in Florida and it happens there? Oh, mania.
Is it very hot
No, here, no,
Yeah.
very cool.
in the air conditioning, but outside?
Ah,
it's
yeah, condition. Yes, yes.
yeah.
How hot is it inside your head?
My head is like.
Wow, must be burning up with all that hair and the hat.
So, do we want to start in the beginning of your musical journey, or should we start where we are now? Do you have a preference, Kawabata?
No idea. You can decide.
All right. Well, fine. I'll guide it. We met in I think 2017 because I was doing
Yeah, something like that.
I was doing concerts with Tetsuya Yoshida.
Yeah.
And some with you.
Yeah.
And you were very, very generous with me, and I think you let me stay at your apartment near Osaka.
Yeah.
And I saw your giant record collection, which you are a huge collector of records, of course.
I'm not collector. I'm just like I'm interested in listening to music what I've never heard.
Oh, so novelty is what you look for. Do you look for even bad music that you dislike, but it's new?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I do the same thing. Not everyone.
Tim has some very good and very terrible taste in music. He loves it all. It's bizarre. Yeah.
If it exists, I want to explore it. You told me some very funny stories, tour stories. Can you tell the story of when you were crossing the Canadian border? Because you told me when you're touring, the American restaurants and the American diet is too much for you guys. So you cook a lot of times, not always, on your own. And you were crossing the Canadian border and you had a giant sack of flour, white powder, right? It was like a reality show.
Yeah. I remember. Okay. It was like in around Detroit. So we had a show in Detroit before the night, and we need to pass the border to Canada. Then there was a kind of TV program. So TV camera came
a reality show
to our van with the police. So they said we were kind of looks like a hip Japanese hippie rock band. So maybe they can find something in our van. So they came, and we had to go out of the van, and we had to stay somewhere for 2 hours, 3 hours, and they tried to find. Finally, they found a kind of one plastic bag with white powder white powder.
Yes.
So police said, "Yeah, we got it." So when they showed us our vocalist Johnson, he said, "This is my flour for cooking."
Yes.
Did they believe you? No.
Yeah, I've never seen that kind of TV program, so I don't know it was broadcasted or not. But anyway, everyone laughed except for police.
Oh yeah. So the police weren't happy because they actually wanted to bust you. But the TV producers just like the entertainment comedic factor.
I think we are very good target for making TV program.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If I had a reality show and I saw the way your band looks, I think that would be a good decision too. Stop that. Let's look.
I like to cook on tour as well sometimes, which is why I like to stay in Airbnbs because, the food in America, I mean, it's you just have to eat well if you want to stay healthy. Come on.
Yeah, touring means kind of very hard for us, especially year by year, we are getting older. So food is one of the most important things for continuing the touring. So in the beginning of our history, we had a so poor, so we had to share just 1 liter to a kind of oatmeal by 5 person.
So you guys
Like,
would tour on one tub of oatmeal for the whole band?
yeah, like that. So also like sometimes like we asked organizer, like our guarantee was quite cheaper at that time. So we said, we asked the organizer, we don't need to get any cash. We need just enough alcohol for us. Just enough. So
Okay.
they brought like one beer case, but we drank very quickly all. So we said like not enough, not enough, not enough. Finally, like they had to spend so much money, much more than our guarantee.
Now that is very peculiar. So
Fueled by beer.
you didn't want cash guarantees. You just wanted nonstop beer,
Yeah,
and you would
yeah.
make sure you drank enough to make it.
Yeah, we made we made like a empty can wall in the hotel room or something like that.
Now Kawabata, you know,
Yeah.
you like to have drinks, but when I met you a couple of years ago, you weren't getting really crazy with the
Yeah.
alcohol. But when you were younger, you used to. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, when I and especially Hiroshi, like a keyboard player.
Yep.
He was so strong when he was younger.
Okay.
Like I've never seen he was drunk. Even like he drank whiskey, but looks like tea always.
And you're not, well, you know, you're looking at Lydia Lunch. I've never seen her drunk. I mean, I've seen her hang with the boys, and we like to drink. She doesn't get drunk. It's kind of weird.
Why should I get drunk? That's for you to do. That's your job, not mine.
Yeah. Well,
I don't get drunk. I don't have a hangover. Very simple.
Well, but the thing about Lydia, I think she's as strong as ever. I think she hasn't changed that way.
Yeah.
She's impressive that way.
Yeah, you know.
Also, like when we started the touring in 90s, at that time, like many Japanese band, they are like always like some vegetarian, no smoking, no drug, no alcohol. But we are totally opposite at that time. So, like many promoter arranged like vegetarian foods, no alcohol. Always we said no. So we can eat everything. We can drink everything.
You wanted the American rock diet.
So I mean, and
Give me the rock diet.
now you're saying you're getting older, and maybe you're not as strong.
Now like getting weak.
It's harder to drink the same amount, but.
Wait, just 1 second. Getting weak. That's why you can do 35 shows in 35 days. You are a Superman, my friend. Come on. Getting weak according to what? Whose standards here? A professional wrestler? No, you're not a sumo wrestler, but I mean, you're wrestling the road.
Yeah. Yeah. They always rode. Yeah, but when we were younger, like we had our schedule was not so tight. Like 2 shows, 2 days off, 2 shows, 1 day off, like that. But now, like we have every day. We have show every day. So it's much harder than young period. So we need to keep our health.
Yeah, well, you have to keep your health.
He says laughing while drinking a whiskey. I love this man.
But you with the pandemic and having basically 3 years off. Was it hard to find the energy after this time off? Because you also moved to a temple.
I live in temple. Originally, I live in temple.
Originally lived in temple, and then
So originally, I have lived in temple, and on one moment I got another flat in Osaka. So you stay there, but originally like I was there. So when a pandemic happened, so I tried to stay in Osaka, but I have no job, no tour, so no money.
Yeah.
So, but city life means like very expensive.
Of course.
But when
Japan is very expensive, though. Japan is very, very expensive.
But when I come back to temple, like there is nothing, like, because it is top of the mountain. I have only 6 old neighbors, and the first vending machine means like 15 minutes driving
to a vending machine.
First vending machine. So I can't spend the money.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing to buy. And you live alone?
Yeah, alone. I have no family. So also my neighbors is only 6 old farmers. I could see one person in a week and 4 years per day.
So,
Well, you make up for it when you go on 35 shows in 35 days. Then you see many people every day.
Yeah,
and then it's enough. And it's enough.
But my private is totally opposite. Like I see more deers.
So during the pandemic, you picked up the acoustic guitar.
Yes.
And how did that feel?
Quite interesting because I had almost spend days off and recording, watch the videos like that. So then I had one acoustic guitar, but I've never played so much. So but when I drank at the kitchen, and I took acoustic guitar and started playing, it's so interesting. So so now I have I started to play acoustic guitar solo, but always I need a same atmosphere, same feeling in my kitchen. So always I need to drink and feel very happy. So finally I can take acoustic guitar and start to play.
Well, it sounds to me like you need to maybe only do Zoom acoustic performances from your temple, and then then you're happy in your kitchen, having your whiskey and not having to look at anybody.
Yeah, but just the problem. My temple has the top of the mountain.
No internet.
I have internet, but very very slow. Maybe impossible to Zoom.
I think you need satellite transmission.
Well, that or you could do a kitchen tour.
Yeah,
and you go to different kitchens.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, and then they have a whiskey.
Yeah, also maybe I can cook some small dishes.
So do you like to cook?
I was chef. So.
You really? Yeah. And did you cook kind of a lot of things or special things?
So always I cook by myself on the tour.
Okay, and what do you have a special dish, as we say, or things that you really like to make, or that you're known to make? Hey,
what's your specialty?
Yeah. I was chef of a Turkish and Middle Eastern restaurant and Indian restaurant and Spanish restaurant and Chinese.
Oh,
so
wow.
I can cook a lot.
Wow.
Okay. It's one of the few things we can control is the food, which we don't really have control over it because most of it's poisoned, even if it's organic. So, but at least we don't have to have a lot of other people touching it before it goes into our mouth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kawabata, for me, cooking, the pleasure I get out of cooking is with life. It seems like the tasks at hand and the designs are never ending. Where cooking, there's a clear
finite,
the clear sight, and there's a clear ending, and there's a duration of time you have to work and make everything happen, and then at the end you eat it, and it actually keeps you alive and it makes you satisfied. So,
I love fire. I love knives, and I like knowing that I'm putting my fingers in other people's mouths.
Oh my god!
Well, it happens.
I think cooking is very similar for playing music for me.
Yeah,
just improvise.
Well, when you improvise, but it's real time. It's presence. You're not thinking about the future or the past. You're working in real time, and it's hyper presence. The action, yeah. So I mean, you fell in love with music through rock and roll, and then you got into more experimental movie. I mean, we both have a love for Karl-Heinz Stockhausen, for instance.
Yeah.
Did you like more experimental music first, or rock and roll first?
I think I'm more experimental music.
Okay.
Because when I started to listen music, it was Stockhausen.
Oh, amazing.
How did you even come to Stockhausen?
10 or 11 years old.
How old?
10 or 11 years old.
So you like Stockhausen at 10 or 11? Well, that's sophisticated.
Yeah, from radio.
So they play Stockhausen on the radio in Japan.
Yeah, it is like a midnight programs. It is like kind of a 20th century contemporary music program. In each Sunday midnight.
That's a cool show. And you know, Stockhausen spent a lot of time in Japan. Did you ever
Mm.
did you ever see
No, never.
did you ever attend
No,
any of
no
his
chance, no
concerts?
chance.
No chance. Interesting. I've seen a few.
Where was it that you were growing? Where were you at 10? Where did you grow up?
In Osaka.
Okay.
In Osaka? So you know, Osaka is known not as much as Tokyo, but with the population density is pretty high. So you go from a Japanese city's population density is very densely populated. So now you're the opposite. You're
but
far away from people.
Yeah, I was born in Osaka, but grew up in some parts of Osaka and a little bit outside of Osaka, Nara. So like more like a little bit countryside. Mm-mm. Not too much, not too busy.
Now I don't know if you feel comfortable telling this story, but it was in Wire magazine that you guys were banned from China because of the name acid in it, and didn't some of the concert promoters start getting arrested because you have Chinese fans and you had toured China before.
Yeah, I toured China, especially solo tour many times, and I made like kind of a good network to the Chinese people, Chinese audience, Chinese organizer. So finally, like I could book as the Mother Temple Chinese tour, but all cancelled by Chinese power because they said like I read like a kind of English text from them. I was evil for Chinese people.
You're evil, you're saying?
Yeah, they said because I gave too much bad influence to them.
Maybe too much freedom. You showed too much freedom.
Yeah.
And did they explain what the bad influence was? Did they
like
say?
Because my music was categorized by for like psychedelic music.
Psychedelic music.
But you know, like China has very bad experiences about Ahen, like a kind of when England invaded, they gave
opium.
Okay, so they have very big trauma about drugs. So still now, like even people sell marijuana, it is death penalty.
Death
penalty
for selling marijuana in China.
Yeah.
Well,
death penalty.
So and not to get too political, but you know, when people say China's the future, the fact is, if you don't let the people think outside the box, you're never going to be the future. It just doesn't work that way, because thinking outside the box inevitably creates criticism of systems, and if you can't do it, you're not going to be an innovator. I mean, sorry.
But China is like kind of like a government, or the power is crazy, very bad, but people are so nice. Also, there are many good musicians too.
Sure, of course, it's the people
So,
that ask for this. Of course,
I really want to come back there.
Do you think if you didn't have concerts and you went to China as a tourist, not possible?
Still impossible for me.
Wow.
Where's your favorite place to tour? I mean, you've been touring now since what, 20, 30, 40 years. Where's your favorite place to tour?
Favorite place? I think everywhere is almost the same for me, because everywhere has a good side, bad side, good people, bad people.
What about Australia?
So, Australia, yeah, I have been to Australia maybe not so many times, 3 times or 4 times.
You need to go again.
But like kind of funny for me, because like kind of they are very strange mix with like England, American, and European, like Mediterranean, especially like feel like Anglo-Saxon with Mediterranean for me. They like looks like a little bit Italian face, but they speak very bad English, and they eat pizza, like, pineapple on pizza. What's a mix? So crazy.
Yeah, we call that the Hawaiian pizza, which is ham and pineapple. Yes. Have you ever played? No. Have you ever played in Hawaii?
No, never been there.
Never been there. Yeah,
I really want.
Yeah, I've been there once, but I've never played.
Everyone said Hawaii is the best place, one of the best places. Everyone.
You know, I'm a contrarian, and I tried to not like Hawaii. It was impossible. It was too beautiful. I just liked it so much. So what's all right? So you've been touring forever. You're on this tour. Are you touring Europe this year?
Not this year, but last year too. Because this year we have two American tour, like Spain and all. So like next year, like we will come back to Europe in spring.
Okay. And you come back to America in the fall.
Yeah. Because like until last year, we toured in States in spring and Europe in the fall. But we need to switch. So
this need to make up for the years we couldn't tour. Exactly.
Yeah.
So Kawabata, you told me once, and maybe I misunderstood, that sometimes when you tour, maybe not this tour, but when you arrive, you kind of see the people, and you sometimes change your set based on
the vibe,
the vibe of the room. Is this true? I think you said if there's like more hippie kind of people around, you might play a little differently. Unless or compared to being in a big city like New York or something. Is that, did I misunderstand you, or what did you say that?
What? I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe you didn't say that. I thought you told me that.
I don't. What's?
He's asking you. Yeah. Like the other night, remember we played in one place and there's a lot of hippies.
Yeah.
More of a hippie vibe. And said, "Oh, let's play more like kind of an improv, like a dead style instead of like."
Excuse me. I think. Excuse me. I think the question is more like, does the place and the people affect what music you're doing that night?
I understand. Like when we arrived at the venue, like venue is like kind of almost a dead heads.
Like,
if
there's dead heads.
Grateful Dead fans like that. Tie-dye people, only tie-dye people. So I want to change the set more like kind of floating sounds. More should be floating. So we changed like not like super loud, more like a little bit silence and more improvised, like kind of like a Grateful Dead atmosphere.
So kind of floating, lighter, a little lighter also, sounding, less aggressive.
I didn't use fuzz so much. Like I play more like a jazz guitar or something like that.
Interesting. And now if the audience looks very different, like leather and all black, then you're doing more Richie Black, more also, hard rock, right?
I remember like a very long time ago, but I think maybe near Detroit or somewhere.
Okay.
Like when we arrived at the venue, there are a lot of old bikers.
A biker bar, okay.
Many bikers, but also many old bikers, like looks like Hells Angels.
Hells Angels types, yeah.
And we changed the set. We play more like just like rock and roll, like what you say, like a CCR or
like CCR, like CCR.
Because we believe like maybe they love this kind of music more than crazy experimental.
Well, I don't know whether you're trying to please the audience or just not get the shit kicked out of you.
Well, I mean, well, serious, but that's so funny because the perception and your fans is that you guys are a little more experimental and you like to challenge the fringes. Yet you're combined with this kind of Frank Sinatra philosophy of like, really playing to the crowd and reading the room. Yeah, that's an interesting approach. I mean,
there's always like we want to put, especially like for me, like rock and roll means like more like entertainment than art for me. So we must make people happy. It is the first video.
Oh,
so like,
I have to. I have to.
Audience like maybe tonight like people want this kind of music, so always change.
You're very generous and kind that way. I've never decided to make the audience happy at all. It's like I'm surprised they're even there. Thank you very much for coming. Hello.
Yeah. Also, one time like I remember like it was 1999, very long time ago. Maybe like audience. They didn't know us, like just like they came our concert just for band came from Japan, only that.
Okay.
So like there are a lot of old people there.
Oh wow.
So then we play very slow numbers, and they started to dance cheek.
So they're doing elderly people are doing slow dances
Like
at their
we play
mother's
like that,
temple.
but
I mean, from bingo
people like
parlors to
stick.
ballrooms to punk venues to Grateful Dead. I mean, you just cover the whole gamut there. I mean,
So the question is, did you ever misread the room? I mean, in other words, did you ever think an audience would like a certain style and you provided the wrong music for the crowd?
Yeah. I have some like wrong and totally surprised. There are two cases.
Okay.
One is it was in Germany. Like I had a solo show just by Indian instruments, sarangi.
Okay.
So quite. Also, I don't play sarangi for Indian traditional music. I play like very experimental.
Okay.
So, but audience are very packed, but all hardcore punk.
Hardcore punk. Okay.
hardcore punk.
Because the opener was hardcore punk band. But when I came, no drums, no bass, no guitar, just a sarangi.
Oh boy.
So I was so afraid to when I see audience. Maybe everyone will leave very quickly. So I've never seen audience. I just play and for 1 hour. But
1 hour.
Totally silence. So I believe everyone already has gone. So when I finish, and then I saw the audience. Audience still, everyone still there. And suddenly,
They absolutely loved it. Wow.
what happened? How do
But you refuse to look at them just because in case you look a bear in the eye, they might attack.
So Kawabata, how many more shows do you have on this tour?
We have four shows.
So Jacksonville's canceled, and so then tomorrow, where do you go?
Tomorrow,
Well, this will already be done by the time.
Mobile,
Oh, I've played there before.
Alabama, and New Orleans,
New Orleans,
and Houston, San Antonio.
San Antonio's your last show. Okay.
Then
Well, that's a wide expanse of land that you're traveling, my friend. And then do you fly back to Japan after that?
Yeah.
Oh, brutal.
Are you touring Japan soon?
Not so much. Just like I have some shows about acoustic guitar. Also, one show with a drummer Nani.
Nani, I
And
know.
we have a very crazy duo, Human Shower, since almost now, almost less than 20 years, but very long history.
Yeah, but when we played with Tetsuya Yoshida, didn't you do one set? I saw the one set with
But
you
this is the same member, but different band.
same duo, but a different band.
Different band, yeah.
Because
Human Shower is more like kind of a joke.
Okay.
Wow.
And,
Put it that way.
and there's some multimedia stuff happening too. Oh no, you gave me a DVD of this. I can't remember. I also saw the duo. There was the big jam. It was Tetsuya, Nani, you, and someone else. Maybe me actually. I was playing. Yeah, that was crazy. How long?
Do you do any visual art? Do you do any drawings, paintings, flower arrangements?
Do you ever do
origami, vegetable arrangements?
I was also the designer when I was younger. So,
What were you designing? Designing what?
Interiors.
Interiors.
You're an interior designer?
Yeah, I was. I retired.
You retired. How many years did you do this?
Just like a few years or something like that.
What did you base your designs on? I mean, were these like for Japanese interior or?
No, I worked at one of the most famous department store.
And they would have you do interior designing for a massive
window, like interior, the inside of the department store or something like that.
Ah.
So how did you get that job? Like, why did they go?
Because I graduated art school, art university. So.
Okay. I had a feeling there was something visual in your background besides your own beautiful face, hair, and beard. Yes.
And conceptual. And so I guess it wasn't satisfying you doing the interior decorations of department stores.
No, like I was very bad.
Oh, you don't think you were good at it? Oh, interesting.
So like I retired.
So you retired, and then
And recently I started to paint again.
You're starting to paint.
Drawing and paint again.
I had a feeling that this was in your background.
Yeah, like because music became my job, my work. So like I need hobby. So painting is a hobby now.
All right.
Would you describe your style of painting as abstract and otherworldly as your music?
Like, very like kind of B or C class, like all the like erotic pictures or something like that.
So
Erotic? Wait, erotic pictures?
Yeah.
You suddenly just started blushing. I like this. They must be very erotic.
I uploaded something like on my Instagram.
You have some on your.
Very stupid.
So you're saying B and C level erotic pictures is your hobby.
Yeah, like B maybe like a class Z.
Class Z. So you're saying
Like
the lowest quality
lowest
you could exist of erotic
I think
pictures
so.
is your
I think
hobby. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I will look it up on Instagram.
Well, I love
Yeah.
somebody that's very practical about what they do as a hobby. So that's very interesting. I just draw erotic pictures in my mind and erase them before anybody arrests me.
Yeah.
Do people comment or have said anything about your erotic pictures? Has anyone?
Like recently, like I said, like my stupid erotic pictures at the show.
You sell them at the merch table. Oh.
Yeah. Because now, like people doesn't buy so much music. More like
Exactly. They want an object. Yeah, very good idea.
Posters or something. So I started to sell my stupid painting too.
Nice.
And do they sell? Do people buy them?
Yeah, almost sold out now.
Almost sold out.
But I mean, what is the price on these works of mastery or masturbation?
Price means like a little bit, like a very difficult to put price to my work.
It's hard to put a price to your work. Yeah.
But so like I put $80.
$80.
Yeah, one piece of my drawing.
Well, you can always eventually end up on the Ramblers in Barcelona, just drawing pictures of people for, 100 euros. Your job will never be finished. You'll always have a new hobby.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you said music is your job and you needed a hobby, when was music a hobby and what year did you consider it? This is now my job.
Like when I was 35 or 36 years old, I lost the last job. Like because Japanese economic became very bad.
Yep.
So like I was fired. So I lost any job suddenly. So but also I got enough time to record a lot of things. So I recorded many stuffs and I sent all demo, like all master to many labels in many countries. And so finally, like I could release some albums, and some label asked me to tour in Europe or something. So I started to tour, even just a solo too. So finally, like I could get enough money for a live from my music.
Wow. So yeah, that was officially when it became your profession.
Yeah. Because when I was younger, one guy said to me, like if like one musician could sell 10,000 records, like maybe like get enough money for a life. But
to live, yeah.
For 1 year, each year.
Yeah.
But I understand my music is not like that. But he said, if like you can release 10 albums for like 1,000 copies, it means like totally like 10,000. So you should make 10 albums in each year. Okay, maybe it is easy for me. So finally, like I released many albums.
Well, and the thing is, too, look, Acid Mother's Temple, this name has been around. People have heard it. It's been going for a long time. So people just always think, you've been going for so long, you must be making great money. They don't know how hard it is. It doesn't matter how many lips your name has come off of. We still struggle to make a living.
Yeah.
We still struggle.
And
we juggle, we struggle. That's the way it is. It doesn't matter that name. Everybody has heard of Acid. You know, they've always heard your name. It doesn't mean that we can retire tomorrow. Hello, have another drink. We can't. There's no retiring from this, which is, I mean, not only beyond a hobby and beyond a work, it's our life calling. So we do it because if we didn't, our blood would boil and then we would just be a human volcano, which I am anyways.
But with that said, because it's harder than ever, selling records is harder than ever with the internet.
Selling erotic photos, I think that's the way. Pictures, I think that's. I know a new career is coming for me. I can't wait.
Erotic, but I talking to Ron and seeing your concert, you guys are filling up the rooms every night. So if you can tour, with all this said, you guys every night, it sounds like you're having really good crowds and you're getting really good audiences. So.
But it's still very expensive to tour. It's expensive a ticket to Japan to America. It's expensive to rent the van. It's expensive to house. How many people are in the band at this point? 3, 4?
No, 5.
Five.
So it's very expensive, even if the club is full every night. But still very difficult.
Yeah, but when I started that tour with Acid Mothers in 1998, everyone said impossible to get enough money for 5 person.
Yeah.
Like my friend Yoshida Tatsuya, he toured with his band Ruins, because Ruins is just a 2 person. He said that's why Ruins is 2 person. So he said 5 person is impossible. But like I could, because the first year of the tour, one audience said he didn't know anything about us, but just he came to the show. He loved our music, and he advised just one thing: you should come every year, because nobody knows this year, but some people remember my band. So next year they will bring their friends. And the next year come back again. So like you can get
excuse me, but also bands love your music. Other musicians love your music.
Yeah.
So that also helps. I mean, that's really also what helps.
Because we are very DIY band. We've never released any big labels. Also, many good distribution. Always like we sold our records at the concert.
Yeah.
Yes,
we do the same.
So we are very DIY.
I'm very DIY.
Yes,
do it myself. Do it myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we are punk generation. So.
Oh, right. Sure.
Psychedelic punks on a rampage.
Yeah.
Kawabata, you asked me a question 6 years ago, and I didn't have the answer, but now I do.
Yeah.
You said you've been touring around the United States, and you see all these cornfields. You said, but where are the rice farms? You see the rice farms all over Japan, but you never see them in the United States. Yeah. Well, in the next couple of days, you'll be in those regions. It's near the Gulf, near like the Houston, Texas area, up near Arkansas, around.
What about Carolina?
Around
the Carolinas,
Mississippi River, but the majority of the rice ones. It's like got a Mississippi River, Arkansas. Gulf. Now, whether you can see them from the highway, I don't know, but that's where the
and also look, excuse me, but the best rice in America, I mean, if you're going to go with white or brown, though, is Carolina Gold. It's the most nutritious, and it's from Carolina Low Country, North Carolina Low Country. I mean, I prefer black or red rice myself, but that's me. I prefer farro or quinoa or other more nutritious things, but because, and also, people think that brown rice is so healthy. Actually, brown rice can have more pesticides than white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like my area, like my temple area, like there is very famous about a rice farm, like a kind of ancient rice, like black and red.
Black and red ancient rice.
Yeah, black rice and red rice.
Do you like
also, it? Like one time, like I
very nutty black rice.
Keiji Haino asked me, like, do you know black rice? Because Keiji Haino really loves everything black. So
Well,
he
and
wants to eat even rice black.
That's so funny. So Keiji Hana wants to eat black rice just to match his fashion.
Well, and the thing is, people, and I've said this, I say this to all my friends, is people don't realize when people get sick on Chinese food, it's because they left the rice out in on the counter for too long, because rice will have high bacterial content very quick. Put it in the refrigerator. Put it in the refrigerator. Don't keep that in a bag next to the flour and your whiskey. Cook it fresh.
Yeah.
So Keiji Hano didn't know about black rice until
he found the black rice.
He found it.
So he asked me, like, do you know black rice? So I said, of course, this is from my area. So
he likes just black foods in general
because he loves everything black.
Everything black, exactly.
Even his MacBook was black.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, and there are the least amount of black foods than any other color, I think, because there's like blackberries, eggplant, blueberries, black rice, not much other, unless you blacken catfish. There's not many black foods, and they have a lot of nutrition, usually the black. The darker the food, the more nutritious, usually from green to black. Hello. If you need an education in eating, thank you very much. Someday we will cook for each other. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We should. Are you playing with Tatsuya Yoshida anytime soon?
Last March, like we played a few shows.
Okay. Cool.
Together.
Cool.
But now, like, not so much, because we played almost like 30 years. So
you've been playing for 30 years.
Like we chose like a little bit different way.
Yeah.
I really like the Japanese band Boningen.
Boningen, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're very sweet.
I play with the vocalist Taigen on the one band, main liner now. Yeah.
I really love those guys. I'd love to have them on the show. I don't know where they are. I would run into them in the UK a lot and sometimes be on a bill with them. Yeah. They would call me mother. Mother. I prefer if young boys call me daddy, but they could call me mother.
The room I slept in. Oh, there's some noise. Hold on. The room I slept in your apartment in Osaka. I think like 6 months later there was an earthquake. And all your records came down. So if I was sleeping there during that, I would have been totally crushed by everything.
That's my vinyl.
Like I died.
I'm glad that was a very strong one. Yeah. That's scary. Kawabata, what are your future plans this year? You're touring United States in the fall. Any other tours this year?
Next spring in Europe. Also, in this December, like my other band, main right now, tour in Taiwan.
In Taiwan?
Wow, amazing! Power to the people of Taiwan.
Yeah, Taiwan is a very nice, really nice place.
I've never been. I'd love to go sometime.
I can't go to China, but I can go to Taiwan.
Well,
for now at least.
Now, hopefully for as long as you would like. Hopefully.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. It's been a joy and pleasure spreading the fantastic out of this world sounds of Acid Mother Temple and all the rest of your incredible creations. Very happy to have you at least by Zoom and you with my neighbor, Ron Anderson. Yes. So, and see you soon, Ron. And thank you for taking the time to do this. Sorry about the band destruction, but it gave us time to spend some time. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great evening. Enjoy the whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Keep drinking.
All right.